everyone. Hello. I'm so excited to be here. Hang on for a second. I'm trying to put something in the... All right, let's try this. Let's see what we get here. Will it let me copy link? Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to put a comment in here to show. Hang on for a second. Let me see if I can do this. Well, hell. I was trying to... All right. Yay. I'm so excited y'all are here. Let me see if it'll let me. It won't. Oh, shit. All right. That's okay. I'll give you some information. I was looking to copy or pin a link in here to tell you guys where you can find out more information about what I'm going to talk about. I'm so grateful that you are showing up the way that you're showing up. Just so deeply grateful. And I'm so excited. There are just a couple of things going on in the Y12SR world that I want to let y'all know about. And, hopefully, maybe it's something that calls to you, right? Maybe it's something that calls to you. I know that I'm very excited about it. This is stuff that's been in the works for a while and has come to fruition in a beautiful, big way. And for that, I'm really, really grateful. So we're going to go ahead and get started because I'm not going to keep you here too long, right? So, again, thank you for being here. I'm beyond grateful. I am so beyond grateful. What I want to tell you about, like I said, two things coming up in this Y12SR world that I'm very excited about. And I'm going to tell you about both of them. They're actually related. The first one is what we're calling the Addiction Recovery Wisdom School. And the second one is an upcoming webinar that is very much related to this Addiction Recovery Living School. I always think that really, for me, the best way to start is with the intro. And those of you who know me have heard this plenty. You've heard this a dozen times. But I always love to do it because it, for me, offers a lens into the way that I approach this work, right? Way all the Y12SR work is approached. And it for me, also offers an understanding into the why of these offerings and why we're even doing this and why we're putting those forth. So I'm Nikki, and I am the founder of Y12SR. I'm an MBA. I am a Somatic Experiencing Practitioner, this trauma healing methodology developed by Dr. Peter Levine. And right? And I always love to stress that three-letter word really is the biggie, right? So all those things are true. And I'm an addict, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a codependent, I'm the survivor of both childhood and adult sexual trauma. I'm a love addict, I'm a recovering debtor spender, I'm a former commercial sex worker, and I am the mother of 2 living and 1 deceased child. I'm the grandmother of 5 and the great-grandmother of 3.5. And every time I say great-grandmother, it just brings this big smile to my face. My great-grandkids are the love of my life, and I turn into a 5-year-old whenever I'm around them, and I love that, right? And I got a new one on the way, and I'm really excited about that. And there's another and I am a human being in this, I'm a spiritual being in this human existence. I am really a lover of all things dogs. I love people. I love nature. And all of those things are true. All of those things are true. And it's been through my own lived experience with addiction and working with, oh my goodness, hundreds of people over the course of these last 2.5 decades that I've come to know that a huge part of healing addiction and trauma lies in first reclaiming and reintegrating all parts of ourselves. And what I'm describing in that intro are parts of myself. And this includes parts of ourselves that we might have ignored or denied or abandoned or created some kind of pretense around. Others we might have collected or tacked on, right? They may be parts of ourselves that we at some point might have cast off as bad, awful, or wrong. And it might be some part of ourselves that, didn't conform or match an idealized or a cultural view. Healing addiction happens as we first cultivate a deep relationship with with all parts of ourselves. Without that, there's a split, there's a fissure in our being. When I think or speak or behave in a way that declares or pronounces or assumes that one part of myself is right and wonderful and praiseworthy, and another part of myself is bad or awful and wrong, then what erupts inside is an internal war. There's an internal war, and the war is painful. And to ease that pain, I want to use something. Addiction Recovery Wisdom School is all about looking at how we heal the split, how the split is healed. It introduces a framework to support understanding and application. And I love both those words, understanding and application, of what this work is in the healing of that split. And as we heal the split, in that healing, we're able to move forward toward, or back toward actually, our original wholeness. Beyond really all identities, beyond all the things we've collected or that we've abandoned, beyond all of that, we move back to our original wholeness. So with that, we're talking about addiction. What I really want to do for just a second here is pause and really take a look at, particularly in this work on Y12SR, how we look at addiction, how we really talk and look of addiction. Ultimately, addiction is the disease of the lost self. It's the disease of looking elsewhere. And anytime I look outside of myself for something that can only come from the inside, then I can form an addictive relationship or an overly imbalanced attachment to whatever that is. And of course, that can be a substance or a behavior. And it can also be to our thinking patterns, right? Truth is, addiction really lives between our two ears. It lives between our two ears. And I really assert that Patanjali reminds us of this in the Yoga Sutras. When this whole conversation of avidya opens up in the Yoga Sutras, right? I assert that part of that Patanjali is reminding us is that it's very easy for any of us to become addicted to our own, to the way that we process our reality, So the Addiction Recovery Wisdom School looks to offer a framework around this healing. And that framework includes the timeless teachings of yoga and Ayurveda. It also includes new and really exciting neuroscience-based information and techniques related to that to support us in transforming the addictive mind. It also includes psychotherapeutic and trauma healing methodologies to catalyze healing. it is a 4-month immersion. They're not consecutive months. They're 4 modules. There's a little break between the modules. And each module is 4 weeks long. It's all going to be done live online. And everything will be recorded. So that's true. Weekly, within the weeks, there'll be 3 sessions. Each one is 75 minutes. It's 3 online sessions. Each one is 75 minutes. There'll be other things too. Videos and other information, all that kind of stuff will be a part of this as well. The 3 sessions are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're 75 minutes each. Right? 75 minutes, so an hour and 15 minutes each. Monday is where we'll introduce our topic for the week. Wednesday is where we will actually have a practice around that. And Friday is for processing, right? For really working through and processing the work that we've done over that week, the focus of the work that we've done over that week. You can take these modules independently, right? So you can take, there are 4 different modules, and you can take them independently. But I assert that the real juice is when you do them together, when they're hooked together, they're meant to be done together, and it's possible to take them independently. The only thing that's needed for participation into this is a desire, a commitment for healing, a desire, a commitment for healing. And this is part of the exciting part of this. As a part of each module, we've invited in a guest speaker. And I'll mention them all, but for now, I want to tell you about the first module and our first guest speaker, because that's going to lead into this second piece that I wanted to, the second offering that I wanted to talk a little bit about. So, our first module in the Addiction Recovery Wisdom School is we're calling it the anatomy of sustainable recovery, the anatomy of sustainable recovery. And after we get done, with our context set and introductions and our overview of the work that we're going to do, really the focus of this module is around how we befriend our brain, how we befriend our brain. And I love that. I love that thought of befriending our brain. If you have any knowledge of 12 steps or any of that, which is such a big part of my healing, right? Any knowledge of that. And sometimes in 12-step rooms, you hear this talk about the committee that lives in our head, right? Well, what if we can get the committee to act in harmony, right? What if that committee becomes, this argument and fight and all that kind of stuff and disruption in our head? What if that becomes more like a choir, right? What if there was harmony, right? What if there was synchronicity, right? And befriending our brain can help us in support of that, can support that, work with us to build exactly that. So this module is all around how we befriend our brain. And it features the work of Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor, right? And she's going to be the guest speaker for this. And as a preview to this work, Dr. Jill and I are going to do a webinar or workshop, if you will. And that's going to be on a week from today, Thursday, January 27th. The title of that webinar is Whole Brain Recovery. Whole Brain Recovery, right? Dr. Jill's newest book is called Whole Brain Living. And if for any reason you don't know Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor, Google her, right? And look at her TED Talks, right? You can look at the ones from a few years ago called My Stroke of Insight. Dr. Jill is actually a neuroscientist. And you can just Google her work, Google that, and look at Whole Brain Living, right? There's some TED Talks out there around Whole Brain Living and My Stroke of Insight, which was her first book. However, this work in Whole Brain Living is really, for me, groundbreaking and game changing. And I'm excited to be working with her in crafting, tailoring, and working with this, targeting, really moving toward addiction recovery, using it in support of addiction recovery. So in this webinar, Dr. Jill is going to introduce us to the basic concepts in whole brain living, and what part of the real locus of our first module is to dive deeper into that. And then at the end of that module, Dr. Jill's going to come back with us and she'll join us again. And I'm so excited about that. I hope you'll join us for that webinar, Whole Brain Living, which comes up on a week from today. I love that. And the Addiction Recovery Wisdom School actually begins on the 31st. Module 1 opens on January 31st. I'm so excited about that. The guest speaker and I'm just going to throw this stuff out there. The guest speaker for the second module is Kathryn Templeton. And Kathryn's been one of my teachers in the study of Ayurveda. And I'm so excited about her coming in and offering wisdoms and insights and really, again, application. This is understanding and application. Right, and some other things that can be really supportive from the science of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the science of life, right? So things from there. The guest speaker for module 3 is my ride or die, Sean Korn, right? And I love that. That module's around integration, and I can't think of a better person to support us in that integration work. And the guest speaker for our last module is my brother from another mother, Rolf Gates, right? And so I am beyond thrilled and excited that to be in collaboration with all these folks. I think it's going to make for a rich learning and contemplative environment is the word I was looking for there. So I hope that maybe this might be something that calls to you. If you want to know more, right? I was trying to put the link into the comments box and all that, but it's not letting me do that, right? So the best thing I know to tell you to do is if you go to the Insta page, Y12SR, there are a couple of posts on this, and the link is in the bios on this. The other thing is to go to the Y12SR website and go to webinars and events. And if you scroll down the page, you'll see both these things: whole brain recovery and the Addiction Recovery Wisdom School. So, like I started this thing off with, I'm so excited about this, right? I know that it has been these things. They're things that I have been asked about many, many times as a way to go just a little bit deeper, right? A way to really explore this in a little bit deeper way. I've talked about reintegration and talked about this whole thing of bringing all parts of reclaiming all parts of myself so many times. And I've been asked so many times. That's great, wonderful, I get it. How you do that? How does that happen? How does that work? And so this offering will allow us, it's an immersion. So it's going to allow us to explore that even more deeply. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for all of this to be in community, to be in Sangha with all of you as we do this depth of work, right? We create the container together to do the depth of this work. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful. And I hope to see you. I'd love to be, in the level of this depth of inquiry with all of you. So thank you so much. Love y'all. So grateful. Thank you.